Thank you for listening to WYTV7. Can you make us your #1 listen to network? Visit us on the web at WYTV7.org. Contact us. We are currently accepting guests to share their story of hope with our audience around the world.
Hello, good evening, everybody. I'm Valerie Gilchrist, and this is Esther's Purpose. Hope everybody's had a great day. Good to see everybody. My guest tonight is Nathaniel Holland, but before I introduce Nathaniel, I want all of you all to know that we are recording broadcasting from WYTV7 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. WYTV7 is a nonprofit organization. We broadcast nationally and internationally all around the globe. We do take donations. You can go to WYTV7.org, click the donate button and donate. $7 goes a long way to make sure that we can continue to encourage people all around the globe. So we're excited about my guest tonight. His name is Nathaniel Holland. Nathaniel is a kidney transplant survivor. He received a kidney transplant from the age of 27, from a 27-year-old former Marine named Jessica on July 19th, 2012. As a member of the Toastmaster Club, Nathaniel has already delivered 10 speeches, and he continues to work on presenting more such speeches to the club members. At present, Nathaniel's goals are to advance his public speaking skills, focus his attention on becoming an advocate for the National Kidney Foundation, and give talks on motivation through workshops, webinars, and podcasts. Currently, he is working on a book titled The Unforgotten Journey: The Blessing That Transformed My Life. Welcome, Nathaniel. How are you tonight?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Well, I am just so glad that you had the opportunity to come and be our guest. I get excited every time I read this introduction about you and the things that you have been through. So before we talk about what you're currently doing now, talk to us about, when you went through that season in your life as a kidney transplant patient. What happened?
Well, it all started when I did my annual, I went on my annual physical, and I went to my doctor, and I noticed that after the annual physical, he said, your kidneys are not looking good. So then after that, he told me, he sent me to do more tests, and that's when he decided that I needed to start dialysis. I went on dialysis for like 3 years, for 2 hours and 50 minutes. I was on dialysis, going back and forth, working dialysis. And what happened was, as I was on dialysis, a lady came to me and said, did you ever think about getting a kidney? I said, well, I looked into it. So that's when I was kind of like a little upset, depressed, because I didn't like being on dialysis. It was really draining.
Yes.
But I went on vacation. I went on a vacation to Florida. Mm-hmm. And when I was in Florida, a gentleman called me from matchingdonors.com. Mm-hmm. And so what happened was, when I returned his call when I got back to Baltimore, and he said, did you want to think about, so I wrote up a profile, put my name out there. And that's when I met Jessica, along with several other people that wanted to be a donor from me.
Wow. Okay.
And upon that, after getting that, Jessica and I notified my doctors, letting them know that I had a recipient that wanted to give me a kidney. We met at the University of Maryland. All of us took the tests, and all of us all matched.
Wow.
It was a complete match. And upon that, that's when they started the procedures for me getting a kidney. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, what caused your kidney to fail? Was this something that went on in your family, generationally?
I'm originally from Louisiana, and eating all that good food.
Yeah.
Kind of made it to my kidney gone. My kidney started acting up. But the main reason what really caught my attention is I was working in a hotel, and we had a health screening. I went to a health screening, mm-hmm. and that's when I noticed my pressure was up like 200.
Wow.
And they sent me out of there. And from that on, that's when they told me my kidneys was a problem. So when I relocated to Baltimore and I started taking an initiative to seeking medical information about my kidneys, that's when they told me, yep, your kidneys you definitely need to start looking into it. And that's when they start the process of going on dialysis. And to say dialysis, one thing about dialysis is draining, but I was able to, thank God, I was able to go to work, go on vacations. When I go on vacations, I go to different places and do my treatment and still have a normal life.
Wow, that is awesome, because most people, they do talk about, I know a lot of people who are on dialysis, and they get so weak and so drained, they just go home and go to bed, and it just doesn't seem like they have a really good active life from it. But it sounds like that your situation was different. Did you do something different that caused that to happen?
No, basically what I did was I just watched what I ate. I followed the diet that they gave me. And I continued I did a little exercising, and I just watched my fluids. All I'm basically doing is watching your fluids, watching what you eat, and then you keep yourself active, because it is draining. It's draining, and you get tired. You definitely sleep a lot. You want to sleep.
Yeah, and believe me, I understand that. I'm a neuromuscular patient myself. And so being a neuromuscular patient, that's the biggest thing is you get rapidly weak and fatigued. You can, if you use all of your energy up in the daytime, then in the evening, you don't have a lot of it. And it's not so much sleepy for us as you just have to rest to give yourself time to kind of build up, some strength. But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're down for the rest of the day. And depending upon how much you've done, it might take more than a day to really get all of your energy back, so you have to, it was explained to me, and I don't know about for you, but when I first was diagnosed with a neuromuscular disorder in 97, what the neurologist explained to me was you have $1 a day to spend with your energy. If you use up your $1, before 12 o'clock, you have nothing else for the rest of the day. Yep. If you're going to have an active afternoon, you want to rest up in the daytime, in morning, so that you have the afternoon. So was that kind of like what you experienced?
Yeah, but basically what it is that after you go on, when you come off your treatment and you drain, after they drain your blood, you just be draining. You just tired. But me, I was going to work. But what I did was the type of job I was doing, I worked for the government, and I was on the phone. So it kept myself busy. I kept myself active. I sat down. That's it.
Yes. So did you battle depression through it, or you did?
I did get depressed because it's kind of like the reason I got depressed was because it was just draining, and I was waiting. Then I didn't want to be on dialysis for a long time either, because it's getting sick. I was going back and forth getting sick, and had to go back to these clinics back and forth, and so when I did get my transplant, I still had to do dialysis.
Oh, you did?
Just for a couple of times because they wanted to make sure the kidney was running.
Okay.
But once it kicked in, that was it. They took me off. They took what they call the fistula, and they took that out. They took that out of my arm. Oh, that was glad.
That is wonderful. Well, what about so how long are you past your transplant now?
I had my transplant in July 2012.
Okay.
Yep. And
so you're 7 years in.
Yep.
That is awesome. How great is that? So tell me, so now in these 7 years on this side of it, all this time, how did you get to doing what you're doing now?
Just continue to watching what I eat. I watch what I eat, and then I just drink plenty of fluids. I drink plenty of water. And then I just enjoy life. I go out and do things. Like I still go back traveling. I don't eat a lot of the spicy food. I try to stay away from the spicy foods.
Right.
I eat a lot of vegetables and drink plenty of water. To rehydrate myself.
And so when did you start speaking? Because I read in your bio to our audience that, that you at Toastmasters and you've been speaking there and you want to continue to move through your speaking platform and with the Kidney Association. So when did you start doing that?
I started speaking when we had Toastmasters at my job. And for some reason, I don't know what happened to it, but I wanted to do it. Then my church offered Toastmasters. So I went on and joined, because I like to speak and tell my story.
Yeah.
So doing my speaking, and I did my first 10 speaks. And right now I'm in advance, and I'm working on it, starting to work on more speeches. And I recently just got, now I'm currently working with the National Kidney Foundation. I'm going to be doing some stuff with them, advocating for them. Hopefully around in March, we're supposed to meet up to go down to D.C. So I've been telling them about like the new stuff coming out, but they're doing new treatment with dialysis. I've been trying to get a feel on what's going on, because sometimes now you can do it at home, and then they got this other new procedure they're trying to work out. They're trying to make people that with dialysis so they can still have that active life and don't be confined, because they have a cruise. Well, now it's dialysis. You can do dialysis when you go on a cruise.
Really?
Yep.
That's exciting.
Yep.
That's good. So have you been on one yet?
I've been on several cruises.
Have you? That is great. Some of the places you've been have been where? A couple of them?
I went to the Bahamas, and most I did the Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean.
Let me ask you this question, Nathaniel. Because of your bout with your kidney situation, did that make you more adventurous than you were before, or is that adventurous nature, you have always been that way?
It made me more adventurous. I've always been adventurous because my father growing up, my father was a military guy, and we did a lot of, he took me out like a son. He had me going, we used to go fishing and all kind of stuff and hiking. And so it got me more into traveling, because I love to travel. So that got me into it. And then with my dialysis, that made it, doctor wanted me to be more active, because if you sit around, you're just going to feel, that's what gets the depressed sits in.
And it does.
Yeah.
That is good. So now let me take a break for just a moment and remind our viewing and listening audience that I'm Valerie Gilchrist. This is Esther's Purpose. We're broadcasting from WYTV7 out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm talking to my guest tonight, Nathaniel Holland, about his kidney transplant and the things that he went through before and after. I want to also remind you all that we are a nonprofit organization, so therefore we take donations. $7 does a lot. You would be surprised what we can do with just that. You can go to WYTV7.org, click the donate button, and donate to us so that we can have more guests like Nathaniel who can come on and let people know who not only have maybe a kidney issue, but some other type of physical issue that you don't have to be confined to just being at home or staying depressed over it. You can still have a very active, functional life. So, Nathaniel, you are writing a book. Tell me about your book.
My book is called The Unforgettable Journey. And the reason I wanted to write the book, I wanted to chronologize my journey from me growing up all the way up to now.
Okay.
Add my kidney, and basically I'm going to highlight the kidney information as well, and what I'm doing presently and where I want to go as well. Because I think sharing your experience with other persons can kind of be a light bulb that can, help them out as well. Showing that they can still, in spite of any medical circumstance they may experience, they can still have an active life. They shouldn't let that be a hindrance. Because they got a medical condition that they just like, this is it. I'm just gonna be that way. You just get out and have fun.
Yeah. Now, did fear ever stop you at any point in time during this process?
At the beginning, yeah, but I was not gonna let that stop me. I was determined to move forward.
And what do you think? What do you attribute that to? What made you make the decision? You know what? I'm not letting this stop me. I'm just going to go on and live my life. What made you do that?
I stand on the scripture of Luke 1:37.
Okay.
But nothing is impossible with God. That's what stood on. That would push me through. That's still on that scripture. Yes,
that's a good scripture right there. That'll get you through some stuff, won't it?
Yes, it will.
Yes, that's right. And so when is your book going to be released? Do you have a release date yet?
Not a release date, not at the moment.
Okay. All right. Are you still writing it?
Yeah, I'm still working on some stuff, just doing and finalizing it. And I want to get it like edited as well, make sure.
Okay. All right. And so were you speaking prior to your kidney transplant?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I was starting just, I never did join Toastmasters, but then somebody said, you should just join Toastmasters, because I was there at my job, but that's why, for some reason, they had just put a halt to it for some reason. I don't know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was open, I said, I want to speak, because I like to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so your platform in speaking, are you speaking mostly about kidney, or your life with that, or something else, or different?
I'm going to speak on different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to speak on different things.
Mm-hmm. Okay, with that, now tell me about your family. When you grew up in your family, are you? How many people were in your mom, dad, siblings?
Yeah, my mom and dad passed away. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. And we grew up. I gotta say, we grew up. My dad, like when we grew up, my father was like the military guy, so he was strict on the family. But we, growing up, being in the military, it really helped. I was in the military, but being around a military brat, they say, I learned a lot being in going to school with diversity background, because I learned a lot about that, and I enjoyed it because I learned that you got a different experience, and so it really helped me with education.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance to learn different cultures, and so when I did projects, when I came back to New Orleans, I did projects. And how you learned it? I said, I've been, learning from different cultures, because I learned different things how to do it.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. My dad was in the Air Force for 20 years, and so I was a military brat myself, and then I went active duty for 10 years when I graduated from high school. So for the first almost 30 years of my life, I was military. I never did, pretty much civilian activity. I was used to moving around all the time. And so, you get to be where, you're pretty fearless. You're not really afraid of anything because you're always moving. You're always having to meet new people, be in a different school, different situations. You weren't just in one place.
Yeah.
So that does tend to make you, pretty outgoing.
Yeah.
And so you said your parents passed away. How long ago was that?
My father passed away when I was in May. He passed away it was in May 2002, right when I relocated to Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And my mom passed away in 2015.
Okay.
During the Christmas holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes that tough.
That was tough. Mom,
I get it.
My mom was 81. So she really was like, she instructed us how to taught me how to cook and all that good stuff, how to survive by myself. So
yeah. So you have some great memories. That's good. That's good, because my mother did it as well. She passed away 2 years ago on the 10th of December during those Christmas holidays. So I understand that's stressful when those things happen. Especially, I don't know what happens with holidays, but when holidays happen and you have a life occurrence like that, it does kind of it takes you a minute to kind of navigate those waters, because now holidays are different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They are. So now tell me what your plan is now. Tell me where you're going, where you feel like you're going, because I know you want to speak and I know you're working on your book. Now, are you also working just a regular job?
I work a regular job, and I have a small business as well.
Oh.
I do like promotional products and printing services.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yep, it's called Superior Designs.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a website. People can go to my website. They want to view it.
Go ahead and give them your website address.
It's www.superiordesignonsonline.com.
Okay.
And when you go on there, you can click on all the promotional products. If you need printing services, I do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
All types of printing services. And that's been one of my biggest sellers. I have received several contracts from the city. Mm-hmm. And state contracts, doing work for them, and I enjoy doing it. I'm a people person. Mm-hmm. I like customer service.
Yeah,
that's what I like doing. So that's what drew me into printing, because my father was in printing. So I took it a step further.
Mm-hmm.
I do it like with the I do more like digital printing.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the promotional products, I know a lot of people, that's a #1 seller because everybody needs like some promotional products. You get like little freebies. Like I give out gifts, like I have these little cards, I have an ink pen with the little light in it to give out, like say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I like went to promotional products.
How long have you been doing that, Nathaniel?
I've been doing this since 2008.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're kind of a serial entrepreneur, sounds like.
Yeah, I'm trying to push it out.
That's good. That's good. Now, is anyone working with you, or are you doing all those by yourself?
I'm also doing myself, but I'm hopefully one day I'll get someone to work with me to really, because I want to really basically get someone with the marketing. Really, really, I like to.
Yes, because that's a difficult part when you're trying to do the work and market at the same time. It's pretty draining.
Yep.
But because of the industry that you're in, at least all the promotional things, you can do it yourself. You're not having to pay anyone to do it, huh?
Yep.
That is right. So talk to me about, where do you see yourself going with what you're doing now? Are you leaning more towards speaking and speaking for the Kidney Foundation and pushing your book when it gets out, or are you going to stay with your businesses that you're doing as well?
I'm going to stay with both of them. I'm going to stay with work with the Kidney Foundation and pushing out, as well as pushing my book out. Now the business, I'm going to bring that along, but I'm going to be pushing that on the side as well. But I'm going to be speaking. I like to hold like seminars, like podcasts, or I like do webinars. I like webinars as well.
Well, you know what I'm really glad to hear. There are times when people get diagnoses like what you received, and they don't continue to live. It causes them to shut down. And we talked before about getting depressed through it. And, and the things that you've got to really make decisions. I want you to encourage our audience for a moment. When you get a life-threatening diagnosis like that, what would you say to them? What keys would you give them? What kind of strategy would you give them to work through that?
I would give them just to have the faith and to believe that in your Lord and Savior, that He will heal your body and that you will get through this. Getting depressed, I know you're going to get depressed. Everyone gets depressed. But just find a favorite scripture and just rely on that scripture to get you through this. Because there's nothing that's impossible that God can get you through anything. Yes. And that's what means. That's what I said on Luke 1:37, for nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
Get you through anything.
Very good. I like it. And then the support groups. And so do you go to a group on a regular basis?
Sometimes I'm starting to join a support group at my church. They invited me to come by. I haven't been able to attend because they're getting ready to set up. They're starting to set the time, and I'm going to start visiting their support groups and stuff.
Good. Very good. Yeah. So before we end the show this evening, what I want you to do is I want you to give your handles. If someone heard you and said, they might be going through a kidney, they might have just gotten a diagnosis. They are waiting for a kidney. They might be getting ready to go through transplant. They might be on the other side of the transplant and maybe struggling through, they might have even had, maybe it wasn't as fortunate as you were. Because, we hear a lot about, people who they'll get an organ and they'll reject and do those kind of things. So just give them some encouragement right now. Take up a couple of minutes and just try to just encourage people right now who maybe are going through situations like that.
Well, I just want to encourage person this. Even though you're going through this situation, just remember that if you have the faith, you will prevail, and you will prevail, because you don't want to sit and get depressed. You don't want to sit and be down and out. You're not the only one. There's more people that went through the same thing. But just believe in yourself that that if you need a kidney, just you just talk to your doctors, ask them how you can join the kidney list, talk to family members or friends, see that anyone that want to be a blessing to you. But recently, just stay encouraged. Don't get down on yourself. Interact with family members. Talk with someone. Talk with your church friends. Even talk with your social worker, because those are the people that will be your those persons are your coaches. They're the ones going to pull through you. They're the ones going to give you the encouragement to stay focused. Don't give up. Because another situation I forgot to, I had when I went to get my kidney, when I went to the kidney office, they had a lady in there sold me online and said, I was going to give you a kidney, but somebody has already told me you had already got one, but I'm here to give this other lady a kidney.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's what I'm saying. You know, they don't want, that was really encouraging to me. And like, and if you need help, check out matchingdonors.com, matchingdonors.com, www.matchingdonors.com. They will assist you in helping you find the right donor, screen the right applicants, and get the right person for you.
That is great. Thank you for that information, Nathaniel. Now, will you give them your social media handles, all the different ways people can contact you if they want to talk to you or invite you to come speak or invite you to come and be an encouragement to someone? Tell them how to reach you.
Well, if they can reach me, you can go to my website. It's www.nathanielholland.com. www.nathanielholland.com. I got a website up there. Got all the information. You can how to reach me. And it's you can Google it. You know, www.nathanielholland.com.
Okay,
Yep.
That's good. That's good. Now, are you on Facebook and Twitter?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn.
And so on your website, they can click on LinkedIn, Facebook, okay, Instagram, all of that.
Yep.
Okay, great. That is wonderful. Well, Nathaniel, I am so happy to meet you and have you be on my show. It has been a privilege and an honor to have you here. It's always great to talk to people who have been through things to try to encourage others. Because, you know, again, WYTV7 broadcasts nationally and internationally. So you never know who's listening to your story. And even if their situation is not a kidney transplant situation, it could be anything. And there's things that you've said that are key things that anyone can use with any situation that they're going through. Like what you were talking about, get that scripture. Get that scripture, pray, get some people behind you, get people a support group. And I mean, even if it's not, you know, the National Kidney Foundation or, you know, breast cancer or, you know, whatever organization it is, you can get your church members, your neighbors, coworkers, because you know what? One of the things that I know for a fact, with all the things that I've been through, all the physical challenges that I've been through, and all the things that happened in my life, that pain is pain. It does not matter what your source of pain is, where it's coming from. Pain is pain, and we all are going to experience it before we leave this life. And so we can all get together. And you know, one time when I was kind of down, when I was dealing with myasthenia gravis and I was taking plasmapheresis treatments, so I understand being hooked up to machines and having your blood taken out of one arm and sent through a centrifuge and it going into another arm, and you having to keep your arm straight and you can't move. And I can remember the first time I had that treatment, and when they unplugged me, my arms were locked up. I could not bend them back. And when I bent them back, it hurt so bad. Because of how long you're trying to stay straight, you know, to have that done. And so one time when I was really kind of down about it, this is what the Lord said to me. He showed me where there was a kidney transplant patient, me doing my plasmapheresis, and a cancer patient. And he asked me, he said, so which one of them are in the greater pain? And I was like, I didn't really have an answer for that, because you can't say that my pain was greater than theirs or theirs was greater than mine. You know, pain is pain. That's universal. So whether your pain is physical, emotional, mental, it doesn't matter what the source is, pain is pain. And so, you know, I thank you for coming on and encouraging, you know, giving encouraging words and letting people know the things that you need to do to just keep yourself up and positive and keep your mind focused on other things.
Thank you. And I'm glad you had me. I really appreciate that.
Not a problem. I do want to let our viewing and listening audience know that you can listen to Nathaniel again if you want to go back and listen to the things that he said to encourage you, or any of my other Esther's programs Esther's Purpose broadcast. You can hear us on Spreaker, iHeartRadio. You can pull us up on YouTube. You can go to WYTV7.org, on Spotify, TuneIn, Twitter, LinkedIn, BeingPod, and FM Player. So there's a lot of different ways you can go back and you can listen to Nathaniel and my conversations that I've had with other guests on the show, previous guests. Click on them, share them with family and friends, because one thing that we want you all to know, that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Whatever you're going through, you can continue to persevere and go through it. It always helps to listen. Mm-hmm. And there's never our stories it's not that our stories are any bigger or smaller than anyone else's. It is what it is for us. Mm-hmm. And that we need encouragement when we're going through. There's times when we can go through for a little while and you can kind of hang in there, but when that thing gets to going on for months and years,
you need someone to talk to.
Yes, you got to have somebody that you can talk to. Absolutely, Nathaniel. So Nathaniel, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I really appreciate you. And hang on with us for just a moment as we get ready to close. You all, again, I'm Valerie Gilchrist. This has been Esther's Purpose. We're on WYTV7.org. Go on and listen and check us out. And don't forget, click that donate button. $7 goes a long way, so that we can hear more guests like Nathaniel that'll come on and encourage us about just pushing through what things that happen in life. And look, he's done all this traveling. He's writing a book. He's got his own business, right? You can do the same thing. Thank you all so very much for listening. Have a great night. Bye-bye.